How's it going, everybody? Justin here. I am back, and today I have 16 of my best wedding photography tips. Alright, so I got a little list here I'm going to go through. I'm just kind of doing it off the top. So, first one, have a contract. Very important. Whether you just Google one and find something, you need some type of protection. You need to set out the terms, how long you're going to be there, how long you're going to be shooting for, whether or not you get meal breaks, some type of itinerary, data loss. I mean, there are a myriad of different things that could go wrong. The best option, if you have the money, is to get with a lawyer and get something specific planned out for you and your business based on who you're dealing with, who your ideal clients are. But have some type of contract. Never just say that, oh, okay, you'll give me $500 at some point after I shoot your wedding and we'll just hope for the best. Like, no. Second, meet the couple. Very important. Preferably before you actually sign the contracts, you want to meet the couple. It's important to meet the couple because you want to make sure that you're compatible. It's kind of like a relationship. You're meeting this couple at what might be the most stressful time in their life. Depending on if they have a wedding planner or not, they're throwing around a lot of money that they might have been saving themselves. They might have a lot of different things going on in their lives, and this is a big change for them, and you have to understand that. So it's important to meet this couple to see how they are, whether or not they can understand your jokes, whether or not you can make them smile or at least get along with them. Maybe they're super picky. Maybe they have a lot of red flags that could point you to the fact that you probably shouldn't work with them. It's very important to meet them before you sign anything, if you can. If they're out of the state and they're trying to do something like that, just pay close attention to the language. Always do a phone call at least. Never just do everything through emails. Try and have at least one phone conversation with my clients. Even if I can't meet in person, I'll do something over Skype if I can. Just anything to meet the couple before signing a contract, because for me, I'm very laid back. I'm also kind of crude and very blunt. So I have to make sure that my couples are people that get along with me so that we can kind of jazz with each other. It's important that when you're there, you're not a downer for them, and the entire time you're there, it's not terrible for you. So not every client's going to be the perfect client for you, but it's important to at least know that you can get along. Next, try and scout the location as early as possible. Not super early, like if they schedule you for, fall, don't show up in the middle of summer or something like that. Try and show up during the season, but if you can, try and scout the location before. I like to go out at least a couple months before. Sometimes even with the couple, I will go out and we'll walk the grounds together just so we can kind of get a feel for what they're interested in, for what they want, where they want photos. Even if I can't get them to come out and meet me, a good time is the wedding rehearsal. It's cutting a little bit close, but if they want to walk the grounds with you, the wedding rehearsal might be a good time because you can get out there earlier and walk the grounds with them, and then they can go do their wedding rehearsal, and then you're out of there. But either way, try and get out there and walk the grounds. That way when you get there, you can show that you know what you're doing. Next, try and get an itinerary from the clients. Not everybody's super organized. Sometimes you might not get an itinerary super early, but just make sure that you stay in contact with the clients as time goes on, as the date approaches. If you haven't gotten anything, I'll usually try about 3 or 4 weeks before. You never want to bother the couple the very last week leading up to their wedding, sometimes even 2 weeks out, because that's the most stressful time where if things aren't working, they might be going a little bit haywire. But about 3 or 4 weeks out, shoot them an email. Just ask them, hey, do you happen to have an itinerary so I can get an idea for what's going on? It's definitely important to have that so that way you understand their expectations and you can meet them and possibly exceed them. Next, get inspired. Inspiration is important if you are a newer photographer and this is one of your first weddings. Nowadays, you've got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got Pinterest, you got everything. Just hop online, look at the venue specifically, as well as just different types of wedding photography in general. Try and get a feel for a style that you like. Look for something that interests you, so that way you can, when you show up there, you have already in mind what you're aiming for, whether that's bright and airy style or dark and moody style. You want to kind of know what you're aiming for. You don't want to just spray and pray. You don't want to just hope that everything's going to work out. You want to try and set yourself up. As they say, you want to make your own luck. One of the best ways to do that is to research beforehand. Next, I'll do all three of these all together. You want to charge your batteries. That's one. You want to format your cards. Another important one. And you want to bring a backup body. All three of these are definitely essential. If you're like me, you go out and you shoot a lot and you never actually come back home and charge your batteries. You never empty your cards. Sometimes you just have these cameras that you take out with you every day and you shoot while you're out, come back home and you upload, and that's really about it. But the important thing here is to make sure that you are 100% ready so that you're not having to worry about that on the day of. You want to make sure your batteries are charged. You want to format your cards. Don't format them on the computer. Format them inside your camera if at all possible. So that way it's set up properly. The camera will create the correct folders or wipe out all the old files and you'll be good to go. It'll be less likely that you'll have any type of file issue if you format it within the camera. Along with that, make sure that you do actually have quality cards and batteries. If you just ordered a bunch of no-name batteries off of Amazon, don't go shoot with those on your first wedding, please, because sometimes they can be complete duds. I've had batteries that I bought and as soon as they showed up, I put them in my camera and the camera did not recognize them. So don't order a bunch of no-name batteries. Order from a trusted retailer, even if it's not name brand. Make sure that, or even if it's not, official like Canon or Sony batteries or whatever, at least go to like Best Buy or get batteries from somewhere that if there is an issue, you can get more batteries right away. You don't want to order no-name batteries and go shoot with those immediately because sometimes they might work. I had a battery that worked fine and then I charged it once, never worked again. You don't want to find that out on the day of the wedding. Same with cards. Go with name brand. It might be expensive, but trust me, paying an extra $30 for a card is much better than having to pay back $500, $600 or more depending on where you're charging for your first time out the gate because you lost all your files because you decided to go with some no-name card. Make sure it's an authentic card and make sure it's a quality card. With the backup body, just bring something. It doesn't matter if it's the best camera in the world, just make sure that it's something that's compatible with the lenses that you already have so that you don't have to buy more lenses. But you want to make sure that you have some sort of second camera so that if your main setup goes down, you can keep shooting. That's the last thing that you want to have happen because you are the photographer. If you're unable to take photos, you're just another wedding guest. You don't want that to be the case. Next, bring the essentials. For me, the essentials are pain meds, very important, snacks, and cash for tolls, maybe a bus, taxi, Uber, whatever. Make sure you bring like 20 bucks or something. Just bring a little bit of cash with you just in case. Pain meds are important because weddings are a very long day, and depending who you're working with, depending on the conditions, if you're outside in the sun in an outdoor wedding all day and it's like 90 degrees, 100 degrees, you might end up with a headache, and that's going to make your day even more difficult. So you want to bring some Aleve, some Advil, whatever. You're going to be standing on your feet most of the day, so you might start to get a little bit of pain, whether it's a headache or joint pain or something like that. And then snacks, just because for me in my contract I have it so that I get a designated meal break, but just in case if things don't work out that way, I still have like a Cliff Bar or two, maybe some chips or something, or at least a couple bottles of water. Because you never know what might happen to the point that you might not get to sit down and eat food at a table with everybody else. So you want to make sure that you have a backup plan so that you can stay adequately fulfilled throughout the day as far as your nutrition goes. Because if your body shuts down, then you're not going to be able to take photos, and then again, you're just a guest. Important on the day of, show up early. I usually show up 15 to 30 minutes early. I don't charge to show up early, I just do. It gets me time to get with my second photographer, go over the specific plan for the day, any updates that I might have come across on the day of, on my way there. Maybe I get there and something's crazy and I need to relay that to my second photographer. Maybe I get pulled over, maybe I get a traffic ticket, who knows? Maybe there'll just be construction. Allot yourself some time for that. If your goal is to get there early, if you run into some issues, you'll still be okay. Next, use a flash. Important. It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. Use a flash. Not the one that's on the camera that pops up. You want to get something that will slide into the hot shoe on top of the camera. I shoot with Yongnuos. I know a lot of people that do. They're great. Mine have held up just fine. I've used the 563 I think, something like that. I might have completely butchered that, I don't know, but I've been using those for years now and they've never let me down. When you use them, don't point them directly at your subject, point them up or point them backwards behind you at a 45-degree angle so that the light is flattering. If you're shooting weddings, you want to point it up so that it bounces up and off of everything and comes back down as nice soft light and makes everything look a lot better. Next up, capture everything. That might seem a little bit broad, but capture everything. And by that I mean think large, medium, and small. Medium, I would consider the people. The people are at the center of the wedding day. It is two people getting married. But think large and think small. Small is the details, the wedding rings, the letters that the parents write, the shoes, the dress, the hair after it's done, the details. Think small, but then also think large. Anytime you go into a building, take a photo of that building. If you arrive at the location, take a picture of that location. As you're getting out your car, once you get all your gear together, take a picture from wherever you're at. And as you approach, take more photos. Take photos of literally everything. This is not the film age, it's the digital age. So you're completely free to shoot as many photos as you want. It's much better to have a couple extra photos that you don't need than to not have the photo that you need. And when you're trying to tell the story of someone's day like you would for a wedding, you want to make sure that you can tell people where it took place. You want people to know the details. You don't want to just get back home and have just photos of people and not be able to put it together into a story. That's the important part, is having the entire thing. So make sure that you're capturing everything. Alright, next up, make sure that you get not just portraits of the couple, make sure that you get group shots. I've worked a couple weddings where they say that they don't want group shots. There's a lot of people that just, they don't know what they're doing when they're planning a wedding because they're planning it themselves and it's their first wedding, so I mean, who can blame them? So when you show up and everybody's like, okay, we took the portraits with the bride and groom, maybe we should take a couple photos. I got my grandma over here, maybe just one with my mom and dad, maybe me with my mom and my dad, and now my siblings. Oh, there's my aunt, there's my uncle. Okay, we'll do a couple extra shots. Be prepared to take group shots because it happens. Last wedding I went to, they didn't want group shots, but then it turned into not just group shots, but literally I took pictures of like 50 people smushed into a room. They wanted group shots. They didn't know they wanted group shots, but they wanted group shots. So be prepared to take group shots. The way that you prepare for group shots, to make sure you get everyone in focus. Couple quick tips. Make sure everyone's lined up. Have them look at their toes. Make sure their toes are lined up side to side. Get everyone in a straight line, as close to being a straight line, shoulder to shoulder as possible. Make sure you're on the same plane as them. Make sure that y'all are even. If they're like this and you're right here, then this is going to be in focus, everything back here is not. So make sure that y'all are even, that you're facing each other so that the focal plane is even. As far as aperture, 5.6 to 6.3 is usually a good range if you want to make sure that you're getting everybody in focus. If they're stacked in twos. If they're stacked even further, then you want to stop it down even more. You want to do, you know, F11 or something like that, but make sure you got the light for that. But yes, be prepared to take group photos. That was just a quick brief. Look it up. This is YouTube after all. Maybe I'll make a video myself, but be prepared to take group photos. Next up, make sure you have and that you bring business cards. Even if you're just starting out, it's very easy. I'm sure you've seen the ads the same way I have with Vistaprint. I personally use moo.com, M-O-O.com, like the cow. But it's so simple to get, you know, 100, 200 business cards for like $30 that just have like your name and a phone number, maybe even your website or your Instagram or something like that. So that way you can send people somewhere. If they want to find you, if they want to contact you, you can't just tell them, hey, look me up, or this is my phone number, put it in your phone. Nobody's going to do that, and it looks unprofessional. If you just hand them a business card, that's a very easy way to make sure that people have your information for later when they're not trying to enjoy the evening and get drunk. So don't be a distraction. Just hand them a card and be on your merry way. So make sure you're prepared with that. And to segue from the business card thing, another reason why you want to bring it, and the next tip, network with vendors while you're there. And I don't mean shut down doing the photography. I mean during times when it's appropriate. When it would be appropriate, at least for me, if there is a meal break, my meal breaks are usually 30 minutes. That's what I'm scheduled. 15 to 30 minutes is what's in my contract. So during that time, if nothing photo worthy is happening, I'll saunter on over to one of the vendors and kind of just chat them up real quick. Maybe the DJ, because a lot of times the DJ will have their tracks, their whole mix already set up, so I can go over chat them up. Whoever did the catering, the florist, the makeup, anyone that's still there, try and network with them when it's appropriate. Don't cut in. If they're doing something, leave them alone. If you have something to do, don't stop that to go network with them, but wait until appropriate time, get with them. Another reason why you want to bring a business card. You can give them the card, they can give you theirs, and after you're done editing the photos, you can even create a special album online and send them a link if you have their email. So that way they have professional images that showcase their work, and now if someone needs a photographer, they can recommend you, so you can help build those bridges to help you get more clients as well as to help them get more clients. It's kind of a mutual thing, so it's important to make sure you have those business cards so that you can network. All right, and my final tip: back up your files before you leave. Even just a cheap $100, $200 laptop used off Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, just bring something with you that will be capable of backing up your photos. You want to follow the 3-2-1 strategy for backing up data, which basically is you want to have 3 copies of all the photos that you took in 2 different formats. So whether that be a flash drive and CDs, DVDs and Blu-rays, an external hard drive and a NAR box, 2 different formats, and 1 off-site copy, which would be Google Drive, OneDrive, CrashPlan, Backblaze, anything like that that's in the cloud, that's off-site. Because if you have all of your backups on, if you have a flash drive and a hard drive, that's where you've got your 2 backups, and your house burns down, that would be terrible. But now, on top of your house burning down, you've got these clients and all their photos are gone. So while you're trying to figure out what's going on with your house that just burnt down to the ground, now you've got to pay these people back because you lost all their photos. So if you have an off-site location as well, then you can just download them again. My whole entire PC is backed up. I've got probably 8 or 9 terabytes worth of data on there, and it's all backed up to the cloud. So if anything happens, I can just download my whole entire computer again and I'm good to go. But while you're at the wedding, before you leave, please, for the sake of your business as well as your clients, just bring a crappy laptop. That's what I did. I mean, it had stickers all over it. It was a piece of garbage, but I brought it, and I would go off in a corner somewhere with my external hard drive, and I would make a copy from my camera to the laptop, and then from the laptop to the external hard drive, so that I had 3 copies of those photos before I left. And then once I got home, I made sure to copy them to my computer and then upload them to the cloud, so that way I'm completely covered, because you never know what might happen. Alright, that's all that I got for today, y'all. So if you have any other questions for me, or any comments, any other tips that you want to add, just put them down in the comments below. If you like the video, go ahead and click that thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe if you want more of this content that I'm putting out, photography related, technology related, reviews when I have the chance. But either way, hope everybody has a great day. Enjoy these tips, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.